Game 3. And here we go, having them both today, fighting each other in this round. So it should be very exciting. Going to get started right off the bats. What do you think is going to be the Uncle item today?
I'm going to go for Hammer, only because I have that as a troll item for my personal seed. And Uncle Chess got arrows. What do you think?
I would like to see the Cane of Samaria.
I'm pretty sure Phantom Ryu would be happy to see that one.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a very fun item to use in the escape. You can utilize it in a lot of different ways, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. And you know, Hammer is interesting too. You have that smaller hitbox to work with, but at least you have the added advantage of not needing ammo or magic for it.
Oh, we got one cane for sure.
We didn't get the Cane of Samaria. We do get the Cane of Berna, though. A little more awkward to work with, and you're going to be running pretty close to out of magic while using it. But with 3 bombs, at least we have some other weapons to use as well.
Yeah, that's kind of a silver lining there, because when you do have that Cane of Berna, you can't really farm for bombs all that well to get into the back of Escape. So that's going to be a load off their minds right here.
Definitely. That is... You really want to see bombs, especially with this kind of escape. And like you said, yeah, don't have to worry about farming whatsoever. We have 3 we can use, and you know, a couple to work with, even if we run out of magic or something.
Yeah, you don't want to go too much into overkill, but as long as you know how to use the Cane of Berna, which both of these runners definitely do, there shouldn't be too much of a problem whatsoever. It always bumps them north if y'all pay attention.
Oh, you know what? I never actually put that together, but yeah, it does do that. Wow. But yeah, we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of bullying strats when it comes to the Cane of Berna. Just going to be trying to body our enemies and trying not to really let them get away too much. And that's kind of the basic strat you want to use with the Cane of Berna. Yeah,
it's pretty much go in, be bold. Yell like Garland at Final Fantasy, I will knock you all down.
Exactly. Could not say it better than myself. And just getting 5 more arrow capacity upgrades.
Jem was lucky enough to get a full magic refill, so that's pretty handy right there.
Oh, definitely. Can actually, if he wants to, even use the cane a little bit extra in the sewers. Maybe grind up a couple more kills on those rats to maybe pick up some other items or some rupees or something.
Yeah, I've noticed on seeds that I've been playing, in the first water part of the sewer, the rats all gang up in that upper right-hand corner, so that's a good place to farm.
Definitely. Problems using pot strats, but Gem actually going straight for the ball and chain guard immediately and not wanting to use pots whatsoever.
Hey, with that little extra magic, that's where it made the difference there.
For sure. But we have Zelda on our side now, going to make our way to the front of the castle and then make our way to the sewer section. I'm about more than halfway done, I'd say, at this point. And we only have 1 more enemy we really need to kill, and they have plenty of magic to use on that enemy. So the rest of the escape should be pretty quick.
Yeah, and even worst case scenario, there are a couple of pots with magic they can pick up, so they pretty much got their way with this thing.
Yeah, definitely. That is one good thing for any newer players out there. For these escapes where you have limited ammo or magic to work with, if you do save and quit, you'll actually resume at a earlier checkpoint of the escape, and you'll actually have your magic restored and some bombs or arrows, whatever you need. So you don't have to restart the entire seed over if you run out of any of that stuff, but you will lose a little bit of progress.
Better than losing all the progress, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Gem also demonstrating where he has the knowledge of where he can find some hearts in the escape as well.
Always handy. I mean, some of them don't hit hard, but the ropes, those can be pretty painful at this early stage.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to conserve magic, and sometimes they don't get out of the way, and they just like kind of crowd a hallway, so you can't really even walk past them. So they can be really annoying to deal with.
I always hate when those snakes badger me.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, quick key.
The final boss of Escape has been taken down.
Have some cheese, rat.
So this is what we needed those bombs for. These 3 chests back here. We're going to get the useless map, 50 rupees, and a red rupee. So kind of getting a little bit of a head start on that Kakriko rupee fund.
Yeah, I was going to say that. They've only had like 1 or 2 rupees until now. So I was going to say they're going to have some trouble if they're going to have the bottle vendor.
Yeah, and those were actually Problems' first rupees, because, yeah, he has 70 exactly. Jem got 1 or 2 of them through the sewer, but, yeah, that was the first time Problems had any money whatsoever.
No problems for problems now, huh?
No, definitely not. Whoa, and definitely not with those. 300 upon leaving the escape sequence.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal to steal the ties, but, we'll give it a pass this time because it's rando. And it looks like we have a blue pendant in Desert.
And we also have a red crystal in Eastern Palace and a normal crystal in the Tower of Hera. It looks like both of them are actually opting to skip the lumberjack check. They have bombs to get through some of Kakriko, and they don't have the boots yet. So they're kind of opting to come back to that check later when they actually have the boots and have the ability to get that item. So not going to see that yet. We do find half magic here in the forest.
That's a nice, glorious thing to find. And not necessarily a safety or required, but man, you love having it.
It's actually kind of funny to think that in the vanilla game, like that's only like the first step to getting half magic, because you need to get the mushroom, then get the powder, then go to the bat. But thankfully here, we just skip both of those steps and just get it immediately.
It's called getting to the fun automatic, like right away.
Oh, definitely. Especially with Cane of Burna, so now we just have endless bullying strats now.
Oh, bingo. And once they get the hammer and some kind of lift upgrade, they may be thinking about Spike Cave if that ends up being a requirement.
It could be a place, yeah, for sure.
I bring it up. It can be a forgotten place. I've seen it happen before, so we'll see what happens. Early to tell.
Well, one thing we are getting for Death Mountain is the hook shot here in Blind's house.
Oh, that's beautiful. Always love seeing an early hook shot.
Yeah, it can stun a lot of enemies and, kind of just automatically kill some of the weaker ones. It's really good to have early on.
That, and it helps you get around quicker if you don't have boots.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Problems getting his map check, and we are pretty close to being even right now. Both these runners being so close to each other, not wanting to spend too much time apart.
I think one of my favorite things about randomizer matches is that you never really know who's fully in the lead until close to the end. I've seen that happen so many times, and it really makes for some excitement, and flippers is exciting too.
Definitely, yeah, and we have a lot of rupees, so that could get rid of the Zora checks immediately, so that's really nice to find early. And, oh, there's our first sword upgrade here at the bottle vendor.
That's pretty good to see, and now we get to check Crazy Chicken Lady's hut.
Yeah, thankfully we did get those bombs, so we don't have to buy any extras now. We could opt to do that, but for now we're covered at least.
Yeah, I always try to see if I can avoid getting bombs early on, because I've seen it happen where, and experienced it happen, where you do need money and buying bombs is a real big setback. But Problems isn't going to have that problem, nor is Jem.
Yep, they're going to go ahead and make that purchase. And, there are things they can do to find more rupees. It'd be ideal to get a lift upgrade so they can maybe take advantage of Houlihan if they really needed to, or, you know, just find 50 in the back of the tavern. That's fine too.
Worst case scenario, if they couldn't buy bombs, there's that big thicket of bushes over by the house you little shed thing you bomb into, and that can have a bomb. Blow that open, and there's 4 bombs inside, so you don't necessarily have to pay for bombs, but it's a little bit longer.
That is true. That is true.
And I don't think there's anything in the library. Is that a blue rupee?
I believe that was, yes.
Library finds.
I'm going to have some race game finds now, because both of them going to see what the item is, instead of just taking a peek at it, so... What do we have? It is the mirror, okay.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want that one.
Yeah. You know, there's always a possibility the mirror may not be required, but it just... You know, it unlocks so many different checks in the Dark World, so it's something you really want to get early.
And Jem's showing us good use of that hook shot there that I explained earlier. It's little things like that that can amount to big leads. So it's always really cool to see that used like that.
Yeah, and all these, you know, not just randomizer runners, but even like vanilla Link to the Past speedrunners, like they know all the things you can hookshot onto, and it's just really cool to watch like that execution and just someone, you know, memorizing and just taking advantage of all those hookshot places as we find the blue mail inside the dam.
And yeah, you can tell it's been waterlogged, but blue mail is always great, especially with just 6 hearts there. It's pretty much having your damage at this point. It's like having like 12 hearts now, some enemies.
Oh, we do have a slight divergence here. Gem actually making a check over at Agahnim's cave, while Problems is continuing on with the standard southern shore route. So this will be big if there is something here in Agahnim. It's kind of a very easily missable location.
It is, and it's kind of one of those places that it doesn't seem like you want to check it until you actually go into desert. So this could be a good call here. I like this.
Meanwhile, finding a lot of bombs, getting the flute inside Mini Moldorm Cave, 300 more rupees. That's our Zora money. So overall, not too bad what we found in there.
Oh, goodness, yes. And now Problem skipping Ice Rod Cave. I don't blame him, though, because then you can just flute right back over there and check it anytime you want. So that's not a big deal.
Yeah, and he's going to immediately activate that flute. We did see it was in Agahnim's cave, just a piece of heart, so nothing super important. Gem going to be going down to his flute now, and Problems is going to go activate that just so he can have better range over the overworld. And you know, we can actually access Tower of Hera now.
Yeah, and we can get some of those Eastern Death Mountain checks out of the way.
So yeah, probably what his mind is on right now.
And maybe check the old man too. Unlike me right now, these players got to be comfortable with their dark rooms. So that's I wouldn't be surprised if they did that too.
Right. You know, there are definitely some options available. So it'd be interesting to see how they kind of route from here and where they decide to go.
Early flute can be kind of tricky if you're not ready for it, only because it opens up so much. It's kind of like, well, where do I go next?
Yeah, definitely. Some players will have to go straight to Death Mountain because that's like, well, I have the flute, I can get up there, I can get all these items now. But, you know, there's other players who might want to stay on the ground for a bit longer, maybe try to draw out that hammer just so they can maybe, or even like a light source in this case, to maybe just kind of drag out some other checks they can do while they're up there.
I can see that. And with this early flute too, I wonder if how necessary Myra is going to be.
That is a good question. Once we go to Death Mountain, I'm sure we'll find that out, kind of when they're going through that transition to Hera, if they decide to go that way. But yeah, we'll have to see. We have a lot of blue items, I just now realized.
It's blue dabba dee dabba die, and we're going into another blue place. Problems is going to check Ice Rod Cave now.
Yes, he is. So if we want more blue, we'll need to get that blue boomerang, and we're also going to need to get the ice rod as well. I think that's all the blue items.
How about a blue rupee?
Or a bottle of blue potion. Oh, yeah, we got a blue rupee. That is something.
It's blue, but probably not the blue problems one. It's unfortunately.
Nah, probably not.
And Gem checking the Zora area. And, oh, Problems is going to too. I thought he was going to go to Death Mountain for a moment.
Oh, thank you, Waterfall Fairy, for those 2 heart containers.
She loves a little bit too much. Maybe she's a creepy stalker.
Let's hope not.
Seconded.
Oh, a red item. Well, there's the red boomerang.
And will Zora have trash today? I've only seen like 1 race so far that I've calmed where Zora has had anything remotely useful. So I'm guessing Zora has trash.
Well, we will see what he has today. Looks like he's going to have just 10 arrows. That's trash.
It's like also the Grouch. He loves trash.
And Problems is not done. I think he is going to see what our good friend the Hobo has next, or did he just do that and he's going to Zora now? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I just did that, but I didn't catch what the item was.
Gem's going to be showing us that here in a second.
Just 10 arrows on the island too, man. They're not coming across a whole bunch.
According to Chat, he had the single arrow. So that's even worse than Zora. At least you didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah, agreed. And Problems is going to go pick up some intense disappointment again.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Arrowed.
Okay, so are we going to see that Death Mountain play now, or are we going to the eastern area? We are... Oh, eastern area it is.
Yeah, I can see it. Checks a Hashrala. I don't know if going Eastern Palace quite yet is going to be in the cards for the runners here, just because no bow can't full clear it. But we'll see what happens. I'd probably jump to Death Mountain personally.
The runners could be using kind of Sphere 1 logic right now. Basically, any area you can access and find items that from once you leave Hyrule Castle. So they're kind of wanting to get these checks covered before they make any other major ground. Do find the red mail in the back of Sashralu's house.
Well, there's going to be no problems with defense in this seed here. That's great.
Yeah, I think that we're going to be pretty good to go there. Problems making his way through the Old Man Cave, going to rescue the old man in the dark, and as you mentioned earlier, dark rooms, especially this one, are not going to be any issues whatsoever for these runners.
No, and this is probably outside of Eastern, this is a pretty simple, probably a little more complex, but still pretty relatively straightforward.
Definitely. Oh, hello, Moon Pearl.
So I'm guessing the lamp isn't too far away if my guess and logic is correct.
Well, see, one thing that we can at least, well, I guess it's cards, but yeah, we will need to find lamp, and we know that at least the lamp, well, obviously lamp can't be behind Aga, but I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, lamp should be soon.
And those dead rocks earning their troll factor today.
Yep, they're annoying.
Yeah, I don't usually spit out troll with a lot of things, but them and Moldorm are really the only ones that have earned their name. And there's a Master Sword. You have Master using it, and you can have this.
So we are just that lamp away from Agahnim technically being in logic, so yeah, that could... We're a little closer to that than we are Dark World us right now, hate to say. Oh, Ice Rod.
Keeping our tradition with blue things.
There's the lamp.
There we go. Hey, I calls them like I sees them. little setback or problems, but, you know, no big deal.
He's going to go up here and try this bomb jump again. Ooh, and he falls again. Now, I think he might just opt to... No, he's going to try it again. Okay.
Yeah, I was a little too north that time, and Gem missing it as well. Boy, this bomb jump's playing dirty today.
Yeah.
I think they're just a smidgen too north in order to make it happen.
Yeah.
There we go. Gem's got it.
Yeah, Gem's got it that time. Normally, the thing I see runners do is they try it once, and if they don't get the first time, they go back up, try one more time. But after that, I think if you just start losing time, if you keep trying it, you have 2 chances to kind of save time with that.
Yeah, you don't want to keep doing the same old unless you absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
So, just good time practice.
Yeah. Just 5 arrow capacity upgrade on the Death Mountain Lonely Island.
Welcome to the Link Olympics. It's interesting, they've been finding a lot of scattered stuff, but not a whole, like, super heck of a lot that says go this way for progression.
Yeah, not yet. It seems like at this point, Tower of Hera is like the big red flag, and that's exactly where Gem's going. And I imagine Problems is going to go that way too. It's a crystal dungeon. We have to complete it. I don't think they've seen either of the 2 items that are up here as well. And you know, it's just their best choice of where to go next.
Which is good because it's relatively close.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, they don't have the hammer, so they couldn't go across the top of the mountain, so they have to go do that save and quit and come back this way.
And here we go. I think Gem will make a Dark World check. He does, and our pendants are Mire and Turtle Rock.
Mire specifically being that green pendant, and I believe Swamp Palace is our other red crystal. All the other dungeons are just normal crystals.
Kind of nice to have Hera as a crystal one, though. It's relatively quick, straightforward, and you can breeze through it so long as our resident friend Moldorm does not decide to troll the heck out of it. And there's our first item, a big 20. One of 2 items in Tower of Hera.
At this point, even though we do have the item we can use to get down there, we do not want to see, or at least the runners don't want to see, that last item being in the basement.
Oh, absolutely not. Those tiles are always a big time sink, and
yeah,
that, and if you get stuck doing tile room, having to do Big Key and Ganon's Tower, that's rough.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully they do not have to do that. Getting the map from here, Gem is gonna be doing the bomb jump on this floor. I think he should. Yep, he got it. No problem. And there's that small key.
So either Trolldorm has the item, or Trolldorm is going to continue to troll with his dying breath.
We will have to see. Thankfully, we have at least Master Sword, so it won't take as long as the vanilla fighter sword fight.
Yeah, it is pretty unpredictable, but Gem showing a truly outrageous play here and kicking his butt easy. And there's our second item. They do not have to go in the basement.
And both runners getting their first crystal kind of around the 24-40 mark, so very nicely done by both of them. Have a good kind of start lead here, but we are kind of running out of item locations right now.
Yeah, there's really not much happening now, so that could only mean one thing.
Yep, it means that Eastern Palace either has the 2 items we need, or we might have to take a trip to Agahnim.
And I think Problems is making that gamble already.
You know, I can understand it, because he is looking for 2 items. There are 3 possible items in Eastern Palace. One of them may not even be accessible, depending on where it is, so... You know, it's a strong play, and at the very least, when he finishes, he'll at least be near Eastern, so he can kind of do a mirror play to take out both Palace of Darkness and Eastern at the same time, so it makes sense. But Gem's going to go straight for Eastern Palace now. He does not want to make that Agahnim play if he does not have to.
Yeah, there's sometimes I'll do the Aga play just to kind of concede if I feel like it's going to save me time. So it's hard to say which is the best play right now. So we'll have to see. But I think Problems might be right on the right track on this one.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because again, it's 2 items. It's not just 1 item. If it's 1 item, I say, yeah, maybe go to Eastern Palace and check really quick. But when you're missing 2, like, you know, it's hard to make that justification that, well, maybe the 3rd item will be locked behind the 2nd one if I find it. So it's a really difficult play to make, but, you know, in races like these, sometimes you can take the gamble, and this is a good way to kind of, you know, save some time if you're right.
Yeah, it's kind of do you go with the odds or do you not? That can be a tough call.
Mm-hmm.
And that map did not help anything.
Oh, Chad is actually making a good point, too. Problems did not go to Sasharala, so it's actually 6 items that he's leaving behind right now. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, the only thing in the back of the closet right now is the red mail, so at least we know that's a good call.
Yeah.
And there's that big key, so if we find another dungeon item on the way for Gem here in Eastern, that's going to be one of the items is going to be locked behind Armos Knights.
That is true. That is very true. It is really nice having the hook shot for this section here in Aghanim's Tower. Just, you know, being able to stun those enemies is really nice to have.
And another big 20. I'm sure Gem wanted to find that really, really badly. And the second item is a heart, so yeah, no matter what, it really does look like Aga's more the play this time.
He's got 1 last chest to check, though. And I'm really looking at our items right now. I don't think there are any other locations we have open at this current point. So yeah, it's either this or Aga at this point.
Though in all fairness, Aga isn't really having an Aga seed isn't the worst of things.
Mm-hmm.
You can usually get through it pretty quickly, depending on how many blue balls Aga wants to throw at you. Oh, but Tempered Sword, nice. So, not what Gem wanted probably, but Tempered Sword is always a very nice thing to have.
For sure, and you know, it will make the Aga tower climb a little faster. But yeah, overall, I think Problems is probably going to save a little more time just with the use of that mirror right now. But yeah, Agahnim is definitely the play. There are no other items on the table, so this is something we got to do now.
Yeah, sometimes what you want to do and what Rando wants you to do not mesh, and with the logic in play, what Rando wants you to do trumps what you want.
Exactly. One thing I like to say is if it's possible for an item to be somewhere, it can be there, so you should always consider that option, whether you want to do it or not.
That's another good point too, because I had a seed once where I forgot to check a place because I thought I had checked it previously, and it turned out to be a progressive hook shot, and it sent me back so hard.
Yeah, it'll definitely do that. But anyway, we have actually a very interesting option for problems. He can go straight to Palace in Darkness and check that out, or he can go north, swim in the water, and hookshot over to the left side of the Dark World. Looks like he is going for Pod, but you know, that is a possible divergence here, and I want to say there's probably more items on the left side as opposed to Palace of Darkness right now, but Problems does have the eastern stuff you can check as well.
Yeah, there's 5 items in there, and no bottle either, so not going to be able to make that potion play, so it could be a quick bow lock. We'll have to see how that comes out.
Right, definitely.
Because there is that use of the potion glitch. I believe it's if you use a potion. I don't remember if you have to have specifically a potion or not in it. But if you use it and you're kind of hugging the right side of the door, it activates kind of an out of bounds sort of thing. Did I have that about right?
It's a little more than that. You got to be like traveling like in that one hallway before the Mimic's room. You got to be traveling to the left, use the bottle, and when you go into the Mimic's room, the camera will be, you know, kind of not panned correctly, and it'll move with the room. So yeah, you can kind of move the Mimics in a way where they kind of get off screen, and it counts the room as being cleared. So you can go through the door and get those 2 chests. So yeah, kind of like that, but a little more to it than just like, you know, it lets you through, obviously.
Yeah, I have some of the details, and I've seen it used, but I kind of haven't gotten the whole mechanics of it yet. Thank you, Slim.
No problem. But yeah, you do need a potion for it too, which, yep, none of our runners have that right now.
Chad did bring up an interesting point. This could be a little routing thing from Problems, where if he does end up getting, when he gets locked out of Palace of Darkness, could just warp back out, go make an Eastern check too. So that's an interesting possible bit of routing.
Yeah, that's honestly something I really love doing, especially this version of the logic. You know, having that mirror when you start your Dark World access, it's really good because you can really just take advantage of plays like these where you can kind of route in Eastern and Palace of Darkness in one go and don't have to come back later. It's very efficient and just allows you to make more checks at one single time as opposed to just coming back, making 1 trip, 2 trips, 3 trips. It just gets really annoying sometimes.
Yeah, you want to maximize your opportunities to be efficient, so that's also another. And there we go. Probably, yeah, no problems there. Sorry, the wordplay just writes itself.
Yeah, with a name like ProblemsIRL, it does kind of write itself for sure.
He's got 99 problems and a routing 8-1.
Nope, not at all. But Gem does take down Agahnim. He's going to be on the pyramid now, and he's going to have that same opportunity that Problems had. So, going to find out what he's going to do. Looks like that Palace of Darkness did not really pay off for Problems. So, because of that, Gem could actually save a bit of time from having to check Eastern early and could gain a little more by going to the left side of the Dark World, or the west side, rather. And it looks like he is.
Yeah, if you don't have quite what you need, because you need the bow for both of them and then the hammer, and if you don't have either of those, it might just be a lot wiser to just skip it and take the long way. Could also check. Can he check Graveyard? I don't think you can check Graveyard Ledge yet. No.
Yes, he can actually. It's not something you would normally think you could do right now, but there is like one tiny crack in the like defenses here where you can go through, and I didn't know this during one of my tournament races in the fall, and I lost a race because of this. But yeah, you can get through here, and you know, the mitts or boots could be here for all you know.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because I remember you could do that, but I kind of forgot about the little bushes part like that. So
yeah,
Gem showing me wrong. Thank you, Gem.
Quake medallion, that's something.
Could be useful. Let's see.
The funny thing is, we may not need any medallions for this scene.
That is a very good point. These are, we can call them mystery medallions, I guess.
Yeah. Could still need, like, the Bombos medallion for Ice Palace if Fire Rod is beyond Ice Palace or something, but, yeah. The Mire and Turtle Rock are giant question marks right now if we have to go into them or not.
And I think we're going to get a bumper cave check real quick, too. I mean, hey, if you have to go around this side, this is a really easy way to get it out of the way for the check. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to route that in, and Problem's getting his tempered sword now.
And just a tiny Babbo shield on the bumper cave ledge.
I kind of like the shield as a safety, too, even though you have to build it up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But if you run into it, it's not the worst of things you could get.
Definitely not. The fire shield itself, if you can get that early, it's really helpful to have against the blind fight. So, you know, I wouldn't say, you know, avoid shields at all costs, but if you feel comfortable without them, you don't have to grab them, I suppose.
And there's the first of 2 items in Skullwoods, another big 20. This seed is not giving them items. It's like pulling teeth here.
Well, it's like we said earlier, sometimes this is just what Randomizer wants you to do. Go through very tedious, long, open-ended pathways to get to where you need to go.
I was going to guess dentistry, but that works too.
That's fair.
A nice trick making those beetles fall there. That was pretty good there. And just a compass. Problem's going to get his Quake Medallion too, so he's pretty hot on gem seals right now.
Yeah, the one kind of nice thing about this seed is it's kind of opening our runners up to what I like to call clock routing, where it's quite literally you start on one edge of the dark world and just kind of go either clockwise or counterclockwise depending on what you have. And, you know, it's a very efficient way to just kind of get through all these checks in an efficient manner and, you know, just kind of check off locations one by one and then potentially not have to come back for them later.
And that's always a great thing. I like that kind of routing there. Gem finding the big key and getting the heck out. I don't blame him. That area's a pain.
Yep.
And without Fire Rod...
Well, we do have that big key, so we can at least check one more chest right here. And it looks like Gem is going to be doing the bomb jump to get this chest.
And key, so no dice.
So with that, looks like we are heading to the Village of Outcasts next.
Good amount of things to find, but without any MITS upgrade, gonna be missing out on a lot of stuff so far.
Yeah, we have the mirrors, so we could make a few light world checks, but without the mitts, we can't do anything about the swordsmith. We don't have the hammer or the powder, so we can't do anything with the magic bats. And we don't have any bottle. We can't mirror and check Sick Kid either, so we're just going to have to make these standard checks and maybe go into Thieves Town.
A good potential for 3 items right in the front there, but I haven't seen that. I've only really seen like one most of the time lately. Well, hey, we got the bow there too. I didn't see what was in the chess game chest though.
Looks like we got silvers from the chess game. Anyway, sorry guys, we did lose access there for a second, but we have been keeping our eye on everything. But yeah, got the silvers.
No kidding, sweet.
Wow, with the bow too. I mean, that's that's Eastern Palace we can now complete. We can check some more things in Palace of Darkness, and then this is going to give Jim a bit of an advantage when he does go back in that direction, as he's going to be able to get a lot more stuff just on his first sweep in. Could potentially find the hammer, so he can just complete both dungeons as it is. So his routing is going to really help him here, and Problems is actually avoiding Thieves Town for the time being.
I can see that. I know some runners don't like to go in it unless they have the hammer to full clear it. So, because I've seen some runs too where the item you need for go mode is in the Thieves Town big chest. So I don't blame him for just skipping it.
Right. Yeah. But Gem is going to be heading towards the back. I mean, it is a crystal dungeon, so could be thinking that, well, I may as well just complete this. And, I have seen races where, again, people have just wanted to avoid coming into Thieves Town because they don't have the hammer. But at the same time, the hammer could easily be further in this dungeon. So you don't want to, leave that behind for too long.
Goodness, no. But for his leaving Thieves Town behind, you get the Butter Sword from the Diggy game. Let me tell you. Yeah. And as we all know, bosses have cholesterol problems, so that's a good find.
It really is. I mean, over time, I'd say the Tempered Sword, it doesn't save a whole lot more time than the Tempered Sword, but when you get it early, yeah, you can definitely slay a lot more bosses in a much faster rate, like Cold Stare especially, so, that it can definitely be helpful this early on.
Yeah, they are going to be having absolutely no problems with Ganon here. Red Mail, Butter Sword, bow and silver arrows already. I mean, that's fantastic. They're really souped up for this.
Hey, when you can kind of stop thinking about the in-game routing or the in-game execution and focus more on the actual routing. Yeah, it's definitely nice to have that concern kind of wiped away from your memory.
Oh.
We are getting a hype cave check here. Got a piece of heart from the generous guy, and in the back we got a blue rupee, a red rupee, another red rupee, and a heart container. So no progression today, folks.
No, unfortunately, the only interesting thing is ProblemsIRL did a little bit of behind-the-back surgery on the generous guy, so sorry, no dice. Gripe Cave, folks. Gripe Cave.
Okay, so will we find something in this maiden chest here? We get the hammer. Oh! Wow.
That's going to make a world of difference right here.
And, as I said that when Gem walked in, people avoid the dungeon when they don't have the hammer because of that, and it kind of comes back to bite them when they don't go in there. And, the big chest didn't lead to much, so it's not going to be a whole lot different, but it depends on how long Problems is going to leave that location behind, as he's going into Swamp Palace.
Which is that's kind of an interesting move here. I mean, I can kind of see it a little bit, but without the hammer, you're not going to get all that far into it.
That's right. There's only one chest you can check, and it's this next chest right here. And as we know, he's not going to get anything from this. He's not going to get the hammer from this. So he's going to have to leave after this point. He gets the book, though.
Not a bad idea, but I think that's going to lead him further from Thieves Town at this point.
Anyway, Gem getting actually kind of low in health in the blind fight. Does take him down, though. Gets his second crystal. And gets the boots as his prize as well. So hammer and the boots.
Man, Thieves Town is definitely the play. And we'll have to see if Problems hops in there sooner than later. Hopefully he's not going to be kicking himself. But got fire on the process, so maybe he'll go back over that way.
You know, that would be a good opportunity for him to go back in that direction. And you know, I keep thinking about his like logic in making that play to Swamp Palace, and then you know, finding the book. He could be thinking that, you know, if this seed works out the way I think it could work out, you know, book could lead to where the hammer is, and all of this could be like just a giant trolley seed that my opponent will be trying to kind of play safe around. But unfortunately, you know, we know where that hammer is going to end up, so it's not going to benefit too much, but it is interesting to kind of think about their thought process at the very least.
I think considering Fire Rod is kind of in a bit of an oddball place, that could very well have some hang-ups for gems, so that might be a way for problems to kind of catch up at this point, but we'll have to see.
Also, getting a blind check of the Lumberjack tree item. We did not see this earlier. It's the shovel.
Blind check for more Fetch Quest. I'm sure that's going to be fun.
Wow.
And no dice for problems, so hopefully that Fire Rod is a way for problems, for the logic to be like, hey, problems, go back, go back.
Yeah, really. That would definitely help him out right now, for sure. Also, we have still not unlocked, like, completely our Dark World access. We're still looking for a glove upgrade.
That is indeed true. Now we can check Sick Kid.
Yes, we can. We have a bottle. Oh my gosh, I think Problems is going back to Palace of Darkness.
Oh, no, not a triple. We know it's a triple dip. Ouch. Well, we know it's going to be a triple dip for Problems. I mean, ouch.
Now, he will be able to get the crystal from Eastern Palace, but I think we've gotten all 3 items from there, so he's not going to get anything from that. And the Pyramid Fairy is... Oh, wow, there's the lift upgrade from Sick Kid, too.
There we go. It looks like I did have something after all.
Yes, definitely did. But yeah, the Pyramid Fairy is actually Hammerlocks, and Swamp Palace is the other 5/6 crystal. So yeah, Problems really needs to go back to Thieves Town as soon as possible.
And Gem is going to be getting a Butter Sword pretty quick here. Glorious Tasty Dairy.
Okay, so Gem is going to be heading south, so he's going to be probably taking that dip in the swamp, and you know, he's actually not too far away. Like, when he gets out of swamp, he'll have that book, he'll know that the Bombos tablet is close, so he can very easily pick up that Fire Rod. So Gem is actually doing really, really well right now.
And extra heart from Stumpy, so not much. Let's see what our Shovel Diggy spot has.
Well, it's a net.
Net loss. And yeah, there we go. Gem. Oh no, Gem is going into Gripe Cave.
Yeah, so right now his options after this are either, go over to Palace of Darkness and actually be able to finish it, unlike Problems, or go to Swamp Palace, where going to Swamp would definitely be, I think, the better play right now, just because it will lead to that Fire Rod, which will be necessary. And, it is another crystal. It's a 5/6 crystal, so it's another one of those locations we could check once we're done with Eastern as well.
That is closer.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like not.
Okay, so I am not surprised to see this. Runners just do not like doing Swamp Palace when it's not in go mode.
Yeah, I can see that. The two very, very branching things. So, like I said, that's one of Problem's ways of catching up right now, but if he doesn't march his Keister back to Thieves Town, there are going to be a whole lot of problems for him.
Yeah, especially at this point, I imagine. It'll also be interesting to find out where that other lift upgrade is, too, because that's something else we're also looking for.
That is a good point, because you do need it to get into Ice Palace, so that is a requirement.
Mm-hmm. And funnily enough, that could end up being a... It could be, like, there's still a lot of other factors at play, but that could end up being a go mode Titan's Mitt for Gem if he kind of routes this in the way I kind of am seeing the logic of the seed turning. Because that Cane Samaria is a giant question mark right now. We do not know if we need that yet. Could need it for Ganon's Tower, but, it's only for 5 item locations.
Utilitarian, but not so many required uses. It's a weird little item. The thing I have to say about this seed, though, is, like, go mode right now is kind of just mysterious thing, because it's like, is it gonna play nice, or are we gonna have to collect a whole bunch of random crap to be able to get into go mode? So that's a big question mark.
Yeah, if they happen to find Samaria along the way, if anything, that'll be good, because a lot of the pendants, or at least 2 of the pendants, are mitts blocked. So having mitts as as our go mode item is actually really nice, because it means that you don't have to really search those 2 big dungeons for those mitts, and that's the one literal unknown we have right now.
Good use for Gem avoiding the stair glitch there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And I think he's going back to check that ether tablet. He's really not interested in going to check out Thieves Town.
He is really not interested in Thieves Town at all right now.
And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, there's something good in that ether tablet too. Let's see. We had Fire Rod, and we have
300.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so he's going back here, but okay, never mind. Okay, he's going the right way. For a minute, I thought he warped to 3, but okay, good. So I was going to say, if he warped to 3, he couldn't actually get to the Dark World. He has to kind of go around this giant loop because he does not have the hammer or the mitts to get in that way.
Yeah, and that's gonna be rough too. I would imagine he's feeling really behind right now, having to do do a trek back in this manner. And it just feels like it takes an eternity. Like I said, I had a recency where I had to do that, get all the way around to the pyramid, and it was just brutal.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, again, like, I understand what he was thinking when, you know, didn't want to go to Thieves Town. Don't want to have an opportunity to come back for that one chest. But you always got to be thinking about stuff like this where, you know, yeah, you may not want to check Thieves Town, but is the time trying to put it off to maybe find the hammer worth it if it ends up being in there? Because with that hammer, we could have avoided a lot of this, like, kind of just long walking distance, and I'd honestly rather just have that big chest remaining in there as opposed to having them make this giant walk around like so many times.
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta think in your back of the mind that's how Rando's gonna roll you. So
yeah.
And Problem's going into Skull Woods first, and then I'm guessing going into Thieves Town to get his share of frustration.
Gonna take his frustrations out on a moth first, and that's always fun.
Oh, absolutely. Gem's taking his out on Helmasaur now. Definitely going to be making quick work of that with the silver arrow there. Or Buttersaur too, that also works.
Yeah. The silver arrows, you kind of have to wait for him to kind of sit still and then get that shot on him. So, you know, if you have a gold sword, may as well just take 2 quick swings and get him down that way.
And with that, Eastern Palace is complete.
Or Palace of Darkness.
Oh, Palace of Darkness is what I meant. Sorry.
I mean, Palace of Darkness is pretty much the Dark World's Eastern Palace, so you're not completely wrong. It's in the same location.
This is a story all about how my Dark World got turned upside down.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
And meanwhile, back in Skull Woods, now that I can correctly name the dungeon. This is especially where I like having that half magic, because those Gibdos are so annoying.
Yeah. Even silvers are nice to have for this too, because the Gibdos, even though they don't get affected by normal arrows, silver arrows will take them down in one shot, so you can even use those if you don't want to waste the magic.
And we should have a very quick Mothula fight with the fire up, but Mothula opting to stay on top and be mean.
Thankfully, he has red mail to kind of take a few hits, and Mothula is down. That is crystal number 3 for Problems. Gem will be getting his 4th crystal very, very soon, though, at the very end of Eastern Palace.
Yeah, it never takes too long to beat those Armouth Knights, especially when you have the silver arrows.
Mm-hmm. So while those mitts are still in uncertainty right now, one thing that is for certain, Pedestal is officially dead in this scene.
I can agree with that. So sorry, chat. Y'all don't get your blood today. And we have Gem's 4th crystal down, and about a little under an hour in. And I think it's a good time to say now that definitely worth following the runners if you haven't at all in this tournament. These are some fantastic players doing a fantastic job. Give them a follow on Twitch.
Well, we know a shield upgrade is going to be on Pedestal, though.
And knowing these players, they're really not going to need it, so
I don't think so. They have Burna, they have half magic. Anything the shield would be able to help with is pretty much moot at this point.
And Gem on the way into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, so Jem is going to be picking up his book in here, and that'll lead him to his fire rod, which is an item he'll need. And at that point, again, barring the importance of the Cane of Samaria, he would be in potential go mode. It's hard to say if he is or not, because again, we need to make sure we get that big key. Big key could be on right side of Ganon's tower, and that is Cane of Samaria block, but you know, we don't necessarily need to get into Misery Mire or Turtle Rock, and we can't get in there anyway without those mitts, so you know, if they find that Titan's mitt somewhere, and Swamp is a good place for them to find that Titan's mitt, this could be a very, very quick seed for Jem here. And it's an Agaseed, no doubt. The Problems is finally making the play he needs to make, going through Thieves Town. He will find his hammer, something that he's going to be wishing that he had a whole lot earlier, and I can definitely understand why. Actually, Crazy Sunshine, Titan's mitts will always be required in every single seed, because the 3 dungeons that need Titan's mitts are Ice Palace, Misery Mire, and Turtle Rock, but you also need the mitts to access Ganon's tower as well, so no matter what, even if you have those 3 dungeons, and if their Titan's mitts are locked in their pendants, you're still going to need the Titan's mitts to get even into Ganon's tower, so you're going to need them no matter what.
Yeah, getting your mitts on the mitts is a very important thing. And I would imagine that we may see some anger slashes or anger pulls from Problems. I don't know. It's bound to happen, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe in a position where he's like, you know, I've got these after so much time. I probably shouldn't waste more time by just doing some slashes, but I can understand the need to do it as well.
Given the option, what do you do?
Well, I usually use the Quake Medallion, but that's why I am not in the bracket stage of the tournament, so probably best not to get tips from me.
Hey, well, I'm not even in the tournament, but I do polls, so yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, but you're getting a
shield upgrade.
That one's that you're getting a shield whether you like it or not.
We've already avoided the one at the Bumper Cave, I believe, so... And the other one's on pedestal, so... I have to get one.
And now we jump into a rather... This is going to be a quick Argus fight. And boy, Jem is making that probably one of the quickest I've seen. Wow.
And does not get the zero cycle, I think is what it's called, but still manages to get Argus down very quickly. And a silver arrow to the eyeball will take him down. That is Swamp Palace done, but we have 2 more items left in Swamp Palace to check, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so too. Yeah, getting a bottle out of Argus, not too bad, I guess. And Problems getting the hammer now.
Yep.
Probably saving the anger for yelling it where we can't hear. That may be for the better, though.
Probably. You see, after Problems finishes this, I mean, he still doesn't have his gloves yet, so he's still going to need to find those. And in order to get those, he's going to need to get the boots that he will win from Blind, and then immediately go up to... Was it Bonk Rocks or was it King's Tomb? It was one of those 2 locations.
I think it was King's Tomb. I didn't catch if we saw Bonk Rocks yet or not.
I imagine, yeah, we did. We did. I remember seeing the room. But yeah, it's in one of those locations. Oh, that'll lead him to the bottle, which will lead him to Sick Kid. That's right.
Yeah, Sick It was basically me the last couple of weeks, so... Hey, I'm still doing things in this tourney. I'm handing out items to players.
I guess so. Yeah, that's right. Problems never found another bottle, so yeah, he is going to have to get the gloves in that fashion. Okay, last item. Oh no, he has to go back still. I'm guessing the big key is back there, or in the big key chest, which could, or big chest, which could happen in this version of logic.
Could very well. It's, I think Swamp Palace and Skullwoods are the ones where the big key can be in the big chest, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, because they are not necessarily required to get through these dungeons, depending on, again, how the randomizer puts items and everything.
It's something that keeps players searching around and around.
Nope, we found it. Gonna have to check that big chest next.
If it's trash, then Swamp Palace is totally gonna spit out the letters L, O, and another L.
Now, Problems is actually going to Swamp first, but he will get a bottle from here, so this is not necessarily a bad option or alternative. So he'll still get the gloves at some point anyway.
Not at all, and Gem still hasn't had that fire rod, and just trash. Swamp Palace laughs at Gem.
But will he go to the left here? He is. Okay, he is going to get the fire rod. He is potentially just mitts away from go mode.
And there's our fire rod there. So we'll have to see where the mitts are. Where do you go from here?
I know I saw chat talking. Catfish has not been checked yet. I want Catfish, and we haven't seen Spike Cave yet either. I don't think.
No, we haven't. I don't think we've seen Eastern Dark Death Mountain either, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, we can't even get there without mitts, though, so...
Oh, yes, good point. I forgot about that. And Gem is going to go make a Moth See the Light here.
This will end up being his 6th crystal, too, so he is just, the mitts away from getting that Ice Palace crystal, and again, Kanasamari, a huge question mark.
They may even have to go that way anyway if they get the, well, no, maybe they would. Hang on. Yeah, there can't be too many places to check for those mitts now, but just as Spike Cave does seem to be a likely option at this point.
Mm-hmm. The chat mentioning that Kanasamaria is technically shaped like a question mark, too, just backwards. That is true.
Boy, if anything's got to fit into our conversations right now, it's definitely got to be Kane. So, yeah. And there we go. The Mothula is dead, and those traps being pretty mean. I think those take off a harder damage anyway, regardless of what mail you have. But now it's irrelevant.
Yeah, that is correct. They take out 1 heart of damage no matter which male you have. And it makes it kind of interesting because when you have green male, they're your best friend because they only take off 1 heart of damage. But then when you have red male, it's like, oh, avoid them at all costs because they take off more than Macula does.
And the left side play, as we know now, working out a little bit better for Problems, so you don't have to dip it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so once he's done here, you can immediately just move off to somewhere else. At this point, though, he is, like, obviously has to finish Swamp Palace, but he's also a Helmasaur King, kind of behind Gem right now, who is just making forward progress as we speak. And this might be a Pyramid Fairy check, actually. That's another place where those mitts could end up being.
2 possible locations, or 2 possible chests in there, so not a bad call.
And then he can just go straight to Catfish after that, and if it's there, then good. If it's not, just go up to Spike Cave to get that last check.
And we have our Super Bomb, and since, oh yeah, there we go, doing major shortcutting here, especially because he beat Naga.
And there is the bomb duplication glitch. Worked out just fine.
That Super Bomb's kind of a fun item. Not only can you do that bomb duplication glitch, it's also really funny that it doesn't hurt you, but regular bombs do.
Yeah, that is interesting.
You crazy bomb, you.
There they are.
Got a mitts on a mitt.
Our final blue item, too.
Dare I say we're in go mode?
It just comes down to those 5 chests inside Ganon's tower. If Big Key is on the right side, then we still have to find that Can of Samaria, but if not, Gem is in go mode.
We'll call it go mode at an orange light.
Yeah. Proceed with caution mode.
Slow, Cane of Samaria at play.
Maybe mode. Yeah, we'll go with that, chat.
And Problem's about to discover that mitts too, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, both will be kind of in this. He doesn't have his first myth upgrade yet.
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, goodness.
I don't think that'll, like, waste him a whole lot of time, though, because he still has, like... I don't think there's much he can do right now without the mitts, so he's going to have to head over the sick kid at some point.
Well, at least it'll make going to Village of or Kakariko Village of Outcasts or whatever easier now. So
yeah, for sure.
Problem's gonna be thinking, what the heck is my first Globba upgrade doing an hour and 13 minutes in? What the heck is this?
Yeah, this is a long time to not get a lift upgrade, that's for sure.
No glove, no love. And there's a nice Ice Palace bomb jump there.
Well, Problem's heading back in the desert to work on this instead of going to Sick Kid.
Well, gotta clear it anyway, so... yeah, why not?
Maybe, and if he does find the Cane of Samaria and it does end up being right side, that could help him out tremendously.
It's never over until the Fat Fairy sings, so you're right.
It does look like Gem is making some extra checks here and there just to potentially make sure that, like, you know, if he does run into Samaria, he's covered. But yeah, I think he is, for all intents and purposes, he is going to be making the gamble on Ganon's tower as soon as he's done, I imagine.
Wouldn't that be frustrating? You didn't find the Cane of Samaria and yet needed it. That would, because you don't want to double dip Ganon's tower. That's going to elicit some real frustration right there.
You really don't. But you know, Cane of Samaria could be in Ganon's tower for all we know.
And that is our last crystal. Oh, this is going to be my favorite game. What about you?
Yes, it's a really good game. People in chats. There are 22 locations in Ganon's tower. One of those locations has the big key. Will it be early and will Gem be able to find that big key before he needs the Cane of Samaria, or will it be late and will it be behind that right side barrier? Get your guesses in chat, 1 through 22. And if you are a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming channels, or if you've donated at least 250 bits to any of the channels, you have a chance to be entered into the leaderboard. But do not worry, you can play regardless of whether or not you have done that. So have fun and start guessing, everyone. I'm going to guess number 8.
I'm going to guess number 10 myself. And I will say all runners-up will receive a voucher to Meyer Travel Company, where misery loves company.
That sounds like a very weird trip. I don't know if I want to go on that trip.
No, but I hear the swimming is bar none.
I guess that's something. Before we go into Ganon's tower, though, Gem is going to make a couple of checks here. May as well, if they're on the way, may as well take a quick trip in to make sure that you have everything covered, just in case it is on that right side. Oh, well, okay, we're in go mode.
Go, 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 go. Green light, go.
Okay, so Gem has nothing to worry about. He can check all of Ganon's tower, so he's good. He is in the clear. So Problems does have a bit of distance to make if he wants to stay in this. So this is Gem's race to lose at this point.
But even if Gem just takes this one, this is still a best of 3. So Problems, if it doesn't work out this match, he's still got a couple others to make up some ground. So that's not bad.
Yeah, that is a good point. So regardless of what happens here, there will be another game at least, maybe 2, if the loser of this race makes a comeback and wins game 2. So game 2 is currently scheduled for Wednesday at 3 p.m., so the same time that this race started. And if game 3 is needed, that will be on Friday, again at 3 p.m. So, you know, you have a day breather in between all these races. So.
But still, if you've enjoyed it, you get to see him again. So makes for some fun roundage. And if I can make it, I'll probably check out round 2 as well. So number 7 still holding nothing, so we'll get to see if you are right on the money, Slim.
We'll see.
Just a key.
I mean, at least it was a key. It wasn't the key we were looking for, but...
That's a good point. I'll still give you a voucher anyway.
Oh goody, I can't wait for my misery-filled vacation. Okay, so Problems is done with Palace of Darkness now. It is not in chest number 9, meanwhile. So Problems just needs to get Oh, he did. He does have the mitts. Okay, so he is good to go now. I didn't think he picked him up yet.
I must have missed that too.
Yeah.
And I'm not right either, but that's okay. There's still more checks to be made.
Yep, we are through 13. Got 4 more chests coming up, and then we'll be starting to look through the right side.
And nice bonk there to skip the warp.
Yeah, really nice. I've seen some runners actually use bomb jumps sometimes to get through that if they don't have the boots. It's kind of funny.
I don't blame him. It's kind of a time, and it is in Bob's chest.
Okay, that is chest number 14. And this means that Kana Samaria was not required for this seed, so even if Problems does not pick it up, he should be fine and should be able to finish this run.
And Red Airmer, congratulations, swooping in to grab the victory on this one.
So right now, Gem is currently going to be working on a series of rooms that we like to call the gauntlets. Basically, these next few rooms will have all random enemy RNG patterns. You can't predict what you're going to get, so it becomes kind of the most execution-based section of the run, just because being able to dispatch all these guys in a quick time will definitely yield some good results for some of our runners.
And there we go. Good gauntlet for Gem there.
Yeah, very, very nice.
And now we're at land mode 2, Electric Boogaloo.
As Problems enters the Cold Stare fight. And yep, that's basically how good the Butter Sword is. Melts Cold Stare in an instant.
Like a hot butter through knife, or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Hot knife through butter, or something like that.
And Gem kind of running into some rudeness there in the laser room. And I love seeing that trick in the second Wizrobe room. I haven't quite gotten it figured out yet, but they make it look so easy, but it's not.
Yeah, you can definitely tell what runners have been playing this game and been playing Randomizer for a long time, because they've just done that trick so many times, and they make it look so fluid and so easy, but in actuality, you really have to have that timing down.
And Problem checking out some of the mire area.
He wants to be certain that he has that cane before moving up. Could also be thinking that since he did kind of go without the hammer for so long, he might be behind, and as a result, since his opponent hasn't finished yet, could be thinking, well, maybe he's getting tripped up by Samaria. Maybe I could use this to my advantage and look for this now.
That's a good point too there, and big 20 in our final Ganon's Tower chest.
Yep. Okay, let's have some geometry lessons, folks.
double trig agonometry there.
Ooh, almost triple there.
Right on the money. 3 triples, and we are good to go for Ganon.
Or 3 doubles, not triples, but yeah.
I meant doubles. I was thinking doubles, said triples. Brain and
It's
mouth
okay.
disconnection.
Still, though, very, very nice. It's, you know, 1 more cycle than the most optimal, but, you know, sometimes you'll never get that optimal setup anyway, so getting a 3 cycle is pretty good.
And sometimes Agahnim just likes to be a total jerk to you.
Yeah, definitely, but we are heading into the Ganon fight for Gem. With Buttersword, this will be a very, very quick fight.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's going to be too many problems here, because, like I said earlier, they are so souped up. Though, Gem might want to watch his health, though.
He does have half heart going into this, so he does need to be a little cautious with what he does.
Yeah, this is definitely where it gets the blood pumping, especially when you're down like this, and I'm getting callbacks to my very first Master Sword Ganon fight with those, those nerves.
Yep. Anyway, we are in the final phase here. Gem getting a double, followed by a single with that hit he got earlier. He is done. Ganon is down. Problems still potentially trying to find that Canis Maria to get an edge, unaware that his opponent is about to hit that done button.
And GG to Gem. Nicely done. We shall get the time in just a moment.
Okay, looks like Gem has finished in first place with a time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 36 seconds. Get your GGs in the chat. Very nicely done through this seed.
That's probably the fastest Aga seed I have seen to date. Well done.
And in addition to that, it looks like that ProblemsIRL has forfeited, just kind of wants to end this and not spend the time on the rest of it. Just want to get this over with and kind of start working on freshening up his mind for his next race on Wednesday. So, understandable.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of time to get ready for that next match. So, did I hear we have friends joining us?
Yes, we actually have both of our runners here. We have both Gem and ProblemsIRL. GG to you both. Good race. And how are you guys feeling after that?
GG props.
If you want to go ahead, Jim, feel free to start, because I have like a lot to say about this scene.
Well,
I have a feeling problems.
I want to say I felt behind, but after Props told me what he did, yeah. I can see why he felt behind.
So, Problems, Thieves Town. What was your thoughts going into that?
Okay, so I had a terrible first half hour, right? So, like, I fell 3 times on Death Mountain on that stupid bomb jump, which is normally free. I had a terrible escape in the first place. It just generally didn't feel like my Aga Tower was bad. It just generally felt like I lost a good 2 to 3 minutes. Right? So I figured going into Dark World after beating Aga, I was already 2 to 3 minutes behind. Which, you know, turns out after talking to Gem, I wasn't. But I didn't know that at the time. So I figured I was behind, and I thought, okay, the safest play here is to go to Thieves Town. Which is likely what Gem is going to do. So I figured I'd do everything other than Thieves Town and just hope, you know, I get bailed out by, like, a hammer somewhere else in Pod, and then the big chest in Thieves Town or something, or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I basically mind gamed myself into making all these bad gambles, even though it turns out I was actually ahead and I didn't have to make them.
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that. Like, one of the big things that we in chat noticed immediately was that rogue check in Swamp Palace, which, you know, if the logic was working in the way that it could have, that could have been a really big and strong result.
That could have been huge, and instead it was a complete disaster because it gave me that book, and then that book just led me all kinds of places which were worth nothing, so that's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. I think from my perspective, from my point of view, the play still made sense. I just thought, you know, I was behind in a spot where I wasn't. So I made all these gambles and they just didn't work out.
I know you actually found the fire rod way earlier than Gem did. So if Gem, there could have been a place where Gem couldn't find the fire rod. So that could have been a big catch up there from our point anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that fire rod felt good. You know, I found the book, I mirror out, I immediately get the fire rod. That feels pretty good, right? So I decided to check the remaining book spots and then follow the fire rod. I also was really hell-bent on going back to pod. So I went to pod 3 times in total, and that doesn't feel too good. I think what I should have done was just follow the fire rod and go to Skull Woods, which also wouldn't have worked out, but it would have made more sense. And that would have also gotten me the hammer faster. But I think at that point the race was already lost. Like, I pretty much lost this when I skipped Thieves down.
It definitely sent some time back for sure. But yeah, like you said, kind of gambling Agahnim as early as you did, because he didn't check Eastern or even Sashrala's house. So you kind of took the lead from that point on because you did kind of gamble it so early. And you know, it made sense because you had the mirror. You could easily combo it both with Palace of Darkness, but unfortunately, just there was no progression there, so it just did not really pay off.
To be honest, Aga felt like the straightforward play to me. Like, there was 5 to 6 items I could have gotten in Eastern, but Agahnim unlocked so much more. So I actually figured, that's also a thing, I actually figured Gem would also skip Eastern. And that's why I thought I was behind in the first place. But yeah.
No, that makes sense. I think you were definitely like using your mind really well for that seed. Just unfortunately, just did not really pay off in the parts where you needed it to. And that's just kind of how Randomizer goes.
Unfortunately, I picked the most linear seed possible to make gambles, and that generally doesn't work very well.
That's just sometimes how rando rolls, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, we also kind of saw that at the end there, where you're just kind of like trying to gamble that maybe because of how straightforward it was, maybe it was a potential double dip of Ganon's Tower situation where you needed Kane, so you wanted to kind of bring it out.
In the end, I knew I was behind, right? So I figured the only way I win this is if the Kane is in Pendant Mire, and that locks Ganon's Tower Biki.
Yeah.
But that also didn't work, unfortunately.
Well, hey, it would have been a heck of a comeback if it did. So,
yes, it would have been pretty hilarious, but unfortunately it didn't work.
Yeah, it never is over until the Fat Fairy sings, so yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So, let's see, I'm trying to think of anything. So Gem, how did you feel about finding the cane on your way up to Ganon's Tower?
Well, that was kind of a nice relief. I was kind of worried about it being locked by right side, and
yeah,
I think you saw me check a few chests in IP while I cleared it.
Yeah, you did, and then
so pretty convenient on the way.
Yeah, I swear, there's so many scenarios where, you know, whether it's like, you know, an item for Ganon's Tower or even just like the silvers, I've seen both of those happen in that one cave so many times. So it's like, yeah, definitely make that check on the way up, because you never know what's going to be there. And that pretty much at that point solidified what was going to happen here. So, you know, kind of, GG on that check. And also, of course, just GG on the rest of the seed. You played very well and had a really, really nice finishing time, too.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's personally one of the fastest Aga seeds I'd ever seen. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, this was a really nice seed.
Yeah. Seeds that have mid-to-score mode are usually really fast because you can check all the slow stuff, which is T-Rock, Meyer, IP.
Mhm. Yeah, it's nice when mitts are your go mode item because that just blocks so many things that you don't end up needing to check whatsoever. But yeah, so far on the schedule, it looks like your next match is scheduled for Wednesday at the same time. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, well, definitely good luck to both of you. Don't really want to like ask any questions about what you'd do differently because I don't want to, give your opponents insight to what you're going to do or anything. But definitely, good luck to both of you, and make an exciting race. This was, definitely fun to watch, and there were, even though it seemed like there was such a big difference at the end, like there were so many uncertainties that made this race interesting until the very end. So. It was definitely fun to watch, regardless of the circumstances.
Thank you. I'm glad it was entertaining.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely. Yeah, thanks to both of you. It's definitely been great.
So I guess with that, we are going to wrap this up now. As far as other races coming up, there are 2 more races today, both part of a double header. So at 6:30 p.m., that is a little less than 2 hours from now, we have Salty Fry versus Ninban, both going to be on this channel. So come back then if you want to see some more Randomizer. And of course, we're in the top 32. We're getting closer to the end, so every match from now on is going to be really, really exciting and really entertaining. So make sure you follow those Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, as well as the ALTTP Randomizer channels, ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizers 2 through 4, because if you want to have all the action, those are the places you want to see these. So definitely come back and watch more.
Oh yeah, there's still a lot more to see, so keep your eyes peeled. I've definitely enjoyed what I've seen so far.
Definitely, and of course, major thank yous to our tracker for this race, Jigheart. Thank you for kind of keeping all those buttons pressed and all of the information so we could see at all times. And of course, major thank you to both of our runners, Gem and ProblemsIRL, for putting on an amazing race. Definitely give those runners a follow if you want to see more of their stuff and witness them as they continue in this tournament. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off on my end. Thank you, Rick, for joining me for this commentary. It was a lot of fun, and had a good time commentating with you.
Yeah, agreed. It's been a blast. I'm glad I got to finally come with you, too, because I've seen you around do stuff as well. So definitely a great time. And if I may, I also definitely want to thank Chat for coming in. Chat, we would be nothing without you. Thank you so much for coming by and joining us for a fun time every time.
Yeah, could not agree more.
So with that, I think we're pretty well good. So this is your resident Rick-O-Rama signing off. Thanks for coming, and come back next time.
See you guys next time. Later, folks.